Hey everyone, here's what's coming up tonight on News Center Now. Delayed work visas, how it's hurting not only the tourism business in Maine.
Plus, receiving a second chance through education. We'll introduce you to one of the newest graduating classes of 2019.
Plus, the makers of Maine's most popular alcoholic beverage are expanding. And no, we're not talking about Allen's Coffee Brandy. We'll tell you coming up. This is News Center Now.
Many Maine businesses are still waiting to find out how many H-2B visas they'll receive in order to hire workers from outside the United States. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Mills.
And I'm Lee Nelson. Thanks for being with us. The problem is tourist season rapidly approaching. Some businesses don't know how many visas they're going to be granted. Chris Costa shows us how even the non-tourism business owners are handling this.
The signs are everywhere in downtown Brunswick.
For 60 days of running the Help Wanted ad, 2 people applied.
The lack of workers is hurting more than tourism-related businesses.
2 people in 2 months. So that's why I say nobody wants to work.
Workers for Smokey's Greater Shows are rehabbing carnival equipment to set them up all over the state, and they say they're really short-handed.
The challenge is that the people that normally do this aren't here anymore.
This business relies on H-2B visas to bring in workers from outside the country, but they still haven't gotten their allocation.
They're the backbone of the rebuilding process.
In late March, the Department of Homeland Security announced it would release an extra 30,000 H-2B visas nationwide.
We're still unsure if they will release the visas directly or go through the premium processing or go through a lottery system.
Maine relies on these workers. According to the Portland Press Herald, 126 Maine businesses applied for almost 2,300 visa positions. And the process to get workers here isn't always easy.
And it could be the middle or end of June by the time they get up here. I'm supposed to be open the 1st of June. So that's a problem. That's a real problem. Could be a real problem.
Meaning the staff they do have will work longer hours in order to deliver the same level of service the company and customers expect. They're even holding job fairs to get people hired.
The old saying in the carnival business is the show must go on. One way or the other, we're going to pull it off and we're going to make it happen.
Hoping that fairgoers won't notice a major change, the one the people behind the scenes face every day. In Topsom, Chris Costa, News Center, Maine.
So you heard it right there. The show must go on. Smokey's shows are still planning the same number of shows as last year. And if you're interested about the job fairs that company's hosting, you should check our website because we got all the info right there.
Well, there was a bite to the air again today. I'm being picky, but I mean, summer's got to be around the corner somewhere, right?
It's the largest corner in the history of the world.
Exactly. Even spring. I'm still looking for spring, Keith.
Lindsay, you just moved here? You think summer's around the corner? Tell you a couple of things. Show you a lobster roll or two.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, it started off pretty nice, but clouds rolled in quickly from the west and overspread most of the area now. And some light rain showers out there. A lot of these have looked heavier on radar than they've been with ground truth, if you will. But still, some showers into Greenville, Bangor, a couple of showers just through the mid-coast as well. Most of the stuff is light. It's part of a warm front lifting through. So warm front here, cold front here. So we're going to deal with the warm front through tonight, and then the cold front will try to come through here through tomorrow. And so the result of that is the warm sector is usually a good thing. And if you, this doesn't make it any better, but if you were to go down into New York or even parts of Connecticut tomorrow, they'll be probably in the upper 70s and low 80s, and we'll be on the wrong side of that front, unfortunately. Lee, don't look at me like that. I can see you. Right now, temperatures in the 50s, 40s along the coastline. We've gotten a little raw there, 50 in Greenville and 55 in Millinocket. So hour by hour forecast showing you the showers, and then look at the snow here working in through Bangor, down into Bar Harbor perhaps by early tomorrow morning. So we will see some flakes there. And Lee and I talked about earlier, no matter how many times I say this, people are going to still act shocked when they see it tomorrow morning on the second day, right, of May. That won't accumulate into much. It'll be rain for the rest of us, and then by tomorrow afternoon we'll start to clear out, but temperatures, you can see, are only in the 40s. Guys, none of this will matter if we can get a good weekend in. So can we get a good weekend?
Agreed.
We'll see.
All right. Agreed. We shall see. Keith, thank you. See you in a bit. In the news at this hour, Attorney General William Barr told Congress today that he did not exonerate President Trump because that's not the job of the Justice Department. His words. Barr said at a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing that he simply decided the evidence gathered by Special Counsel Robert Mueller was not sufficient to prove the president obstructed justice. This after Mueller himself wrote a letter to Barr in late March complaining that Barr's 4-page characterization of Mueller's findings were misleading, implying that President Trump had been exonerated in the full report.
Authorities at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte say the suspect in a shooting that killed 2 students and wounded 4 others had withdrawn from classes and was no longer enrolled there as a student. They say Tristan Terrell withdrew from school earlier this year. Campus police say they disarmed and arrested Terrell in the classroom where the shooting happened yesterday.
A British judge has sentenced WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange to 50 weeks in prison for jumping bail in 2012. The judge told a London court this morning that Assange deserved near the maximum sentence of 1 year because of the seriousness of his offense. His lawyers argued that he had jumped bail because he was a, quote, desperate man fearing extradition to the United States. A new study shows a startling number of Americans can't afford healthy food. So this is a great time to remind you of our Feed Maine food drive tomorrow.
Yes, the group Feeding America says food insecurity is prevalent in every county in the country. That's about 40 million people, or 1 out of every 8, who don't have enough money to buy healthy food. The data collected in 2017 shows in every state, children are more likely than the general population to be food insecure. Of those counties with the highest rates of food insecurity, nearly 87% are in the South. According to that report, many of those without access to food do not qualify for federal nutrition assistance either. So if you want to help, tune in tomorrow and donate to our food drive. It's going to be a fun day. We have a lot in store for that. Allen's Coffee Brandy and Fireball, the 2 most popular alcoholic drinks in Maine, and the manufacturer of one of them is expanding.
Yeah, which one is it? Boston Brands of Maine, the makers of Fireball. They're building out their production facility now in Lewiston. It's going to cost $4 million. They're upgrading their equipment. They're adding 50 jobs. Fireball actually beat Allen's for the top spot last year in Maine. Alan Muszynski is the plant manager in Lewiston, and here's why he says this is the right time to expand.
The growth overall for our company is really the driver for the expansion. All of our products are in a good spot, and we want to continue the growth for all the products that we make at this facility.
And he went on to say that Boston Brands already employs 169 people. The expansion is expected to increase their production by about 20% too. Maine is now the first state to ban styrofoam food containers.
This story was a big one for our social media audience, and we have tons of people commenting on this story today too. Anne says, as someone who frequently orders food for takeout, I would like to know what there is as a viable alternative. I do not object to banning styrofoam, but I want to know if there is something else out there that is biodegradable. Judy adds, thank goodness, it's horrible for the environment and unhealthy for those that use it. It's taken too long for this to be banned. And finally, Dodie posts, only sad part is we still have to wait 20 months for this to take effect.
And to answer the first question there, yes, there are alternatives. The problem is they're a little bit more expensive, but there are a lot of recyclable products that probably will be brought into the marketplace. It's just going to take a little time.
Sure. I just had a donut to go recently, and it came in a little, and it came in a soup container, like a little, you know, plant-based soup container.
Right.
So
breaks right down.
It does, but it's just so funny carrying
And how
home
was
a donut.
the donut?
It was delicious.
Okay. That's the bottom line right
That's
there.
all that matters. Well, have you ever seen clothes that someone on Instagram is wearing and thought to yourself, where can I buy that? A social media platform about to make shopping a little bit easier, more dangerous for me.
Yeah, probably. Plus, a program that combines the power of education with the gift of a second chance. All right, we're back. A couple of coal miners in southern Poland are fighting air pollution with a specially designed bench that can detect and purify dirty air. Check it out. They're equipped with a sensor to feel the particles in the air and light up red, yellow, or green depending on the amount of matter. Red signifies a high amount, green a low amount. The benches include a purifying system which can clean every hour the amount of air in a small 860 square foot home, so obviously it'd take longer in a larger home. The goal is to cut the amount of pollution in Poland, this is the country, in half by 2040, with renewable energy and nuclear providing much of the rest, and gas-fired generation providing some backup.
That's really interesting. Instagram is giving its users the ability to shop inspirational looks from certain creators and influencers. Users will no longer need to take a screenshot or ask for product details in the comments or a direct message. With a single tap, creators will tag the exact brands they're wearing to make it easier for shoppers to click away and purchase them on the spot. However, brands must be part of the checkout beta in order for creators to tag their products. Starting next week, the feature will begin testing with a small group of creators with plans to expand access in the coming weeks. And among the brands in the new format, Adidas, Burberry, Michael Kors, and Zara.
So Clay, look out.
I know, you've been warned. All right, only one day left to get in on our Red Sox auction package. It's live on eBay as we speak. And not only do you get a great baseball experience, you get to help your neighbors in need as well.
Yeah, it's the Feed Maine Fenway Game Day package, and it's complement of Nesson, our partners, and it all goes to the Good Shepherd Food Bank and the great work they do. The package includes a couple of tickets to a Sox game, but a meet and greet with the Nesson broadcasters too, a tour behind the Green Monster, and a lot more too. It ends tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. The highest bid is a little over $800. I still think that's a good deal. You can learn much more on our website and mobile app. It is now a lot easier to show somebody how to get to Sesame Street. We'll explain.
And we always know where to find Keith during the show. His forecast is next.
All right, we're back. Keith is back. You know, you can be happy or sad about that.
Well, my personality is glowing, of course, but the weather.
It was good early, and it kind of went, you know, slowly downhill.
We're getting a lot of
the weather.
A little half days.
Well, and his personality.
Yeah.
That's true. We're getting a lot of half days. Like today was the first half. Tomorrow will be the second half. But stringing together full days, not so much. Not really getting there. High temps today in the upper 50s in spots, and of course a lot of that, as Lee and Lizzie just talked about, came early in the day with a lot of sunshine. Now we flatten out, temperatures are down, starting to drop back into the 40s in a lot of spots. Here's a visible satellite, clouded up quickly here through the afternoon. Now everybody but northern Aroostook County is pretty much totally cloudy, and there's some rain going along with that as well, part of the warm front. Rain showers, typically warm fronts don't produce heavy rain. Occasionally you can get a downpour in there, but as a rule, they don't put down really heavy stuff this time of the year. So you see the light showers up towards Bangor through down East Maine, and just kind of evaporating over the eastern part there of the mid-coast. Big picture, warm front here, cold front here. There is, in theory, some warm air in between the two. Unfortunately, we're not going to get into that, really. We're just going to drag this warm front right across and then drag the cold front through. So we kind of see the worst part of these systems and not any of the benefit of being in the warm sector as you typically would with a 1-2 punch like that. Hour by hour forecast showing you the showers, and watch as temperatures drop tonight how we start to see a little snow, wet snow. Greenville, Bangor, I think we'll get a little too. And maybe into Bar Harbor. Now keep in mind, boundary layer temperatures are in the upper 30s, so it'll be snowing, won't really be accumulating, but still, it's kind of nasty to see that this time of the year. Through Thursday morning, still some rain and snow showers, and then tomorrow's a showery day with some clearing later in the day, especially over the northern third or so of the state, where they've in general been having a better pattern in the last month or so. After a rough winter, they've seen more sunshine than the rest of the state. On Friday, we start clouding up again, and a couple of showers come through Friday afternoon through Friday night. Should be out of here just in time for Saturday. Saturdays, Sundays, still such a squeeze in there because we are going to see rain overnight Friday, and it will linger into early Saturday morning. You should be able to get it offshore Saturday midday, Saturday afternoon looks good, and then Sunday morning should be good, and then we're watching another storm system move in for Sunday late afternoon into Sunday night. The way it plays out, most of Maine will get the majority of the weekend in. So early shower Saturday, late shower Sunday. In between is pretty good. Don't expect bluebird skies, though. There will be quite a bit of cloud cover around, and then there goes that system on Monday. We stay in a overall active pattern. Looking for hemispheric help, some sort of pattern change in here. This is the jet stream highlighted in these strange colors. This one actually looks like, what's the dinosaur that eats plants? Has a really long neck?
Plantosaurus.
Really? That sounds made up. Is it really called that?
I gotta Google it.
Stegosaurus? No, what is it called? Somebody.
Brontosaurus.
Brontosaurus.
It is definitely a
Whatever. I don't have time for this. Anyways, that's where the jet stream is. Thanks for your help, guys. Not ever gonna have you on Trivial Pursuit team. Wherever this jet stream is, we'll see the storms rotating in, and it keeps that way all the way through basically next weekend before we start to see a little loosening in it later on into the next 10 days or so. But until then, we're in an active pattern. Anybody figure it out yet?
It's a thesaurus.
You guys are the worst. Fine, I'll
An
Google it
herbivore
after.
dinosaur.
Anyways, so the weekend's bookended by showers in the front and the back, and
this is it.
then we get another chance of showers
can't
on
pronounce
Tuesday.
that.
What a
This one.
Bronchiosaurus?
Bronchiosaurus.
Yeah, that's what you're
Yeah,
thinking of,
that's
right?
it.
Yeah.
There you go. It does exist.
All
Yeah.
right.
Otherwise known as Littlefoot, the
Yes.
little character.
All right. Thank you, Keith, very much. All right, so you know the song. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street, right?
Well, now
You
I
had to
can.
hear it first. Well, we can tell you now because this morning, New York City renamed the intersection of Broadway and 63rd Sesame Street. A lot of familiar friends were there. Big Bird, Elmo, Oscar, the Grouch, Grover. A lot of the humans who helped so many children learn their numbers and letters over the years, too. This is right near Central Park, Lincoln Center, Fordham University. The name change all part of the 50th anniversary of that beloved children's program.
Checking out what's snapping in, a tradition that dates back over 80 years. We're talking about Maine Day. The University of Maine at Orono celebrating this day every year on the last Wednesday before finals start. We're getting a live or a Snapchat look through your eyes of the celebrations and festivities. Most students have their classes canceled so they can do service projects and have a little fun at the same time. Really cool to see it through the eyes of you guys through Snapchat.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love that we can do that. Bye, friends, they said in that last one. Well, for the first time in hundreds of years, the Louvre Museum in Paris opened its doors for 2 overnight guests, courtesy of Airbnb.
Yeah, the lucky pair, 26-year-old fine art conservation student Daniela and her 29-year-old boyfriend Adam, got a tour of the museum by an art historian. Right before the Mona Lisa took over as host of the exclusive visit. The two clinked glasses of champagne in the living room, mounted for the occasion in front of the 500-year-old painting before then moving into a cozy dinner next to the Venus de Milo.
That sounds like a heavenly date.
Yes, it does.
Very cool.
All right, pretty cool. Let's see what Cindy's been working on now for the next half hour.
Hi guys, we got a lot coming up in the next half hour, including the pushback on styrofoam containers. This is nothing new. Everybody says they're bad for the environment, bad for our health. Well, Maine has become the first state in the country to ban these food containers outright. We're going to have more on that. Hundreds of names have been added today to the National Law Enforcement Memorial in Washington, D.C. And among those names, Maine Deputy Eugene Cole. Plus, we're going to look at the push to give voice to those who cannot speak for themselves, abused animals. There's a proposal called Frankie's Law that lays out a plan for getting justice for abused pets. Those stories and much more ahead at 5:30.
Very good.
Looking forward to it. We'll see you
right.
guys at 5:30.
Sounds good.
We're back with Braindrops and more after this. Earning a college degree is a huge accomplishment for anyone, and it can open a number of doors, which leads to success. But for one group of men in Windham, that achievement means so much more.
Yeah, our Samantha York captured the special moment.
Meet the newest members of the class of 2019. After months, even years of hard work, each of these men will finally receive their college degrees.
It's kind of surreal.
You see, these diplomas are so much more than a scholarly achievement. It's the first of many steps this group is taking to rewrite their story.
You know, I'm happy I got it done. I'm happy to be here.
It feels good to have this much support.
Like the men sitting next to them, Alex Ryerson and Eric Hamilton are inmates at the correctional facility in Windham. Their past choices led to a life behind bars. But it was the choices they made once they got there that helped get them on a path to success.
I'm going to do better. I promise to do better. I just need to get through this. But this is something that's tangible that says you're actually working towards it.
A goal that wouldn't have been possible without dedication and countless hours of studying. And of course, the partnership between the facility and the University of Maine at Augusta.
These 11 men worked really, really hard. I see maturity, I see confidence, I see self-worth. It's amazing. It's marvelous. It's a wonderful accomplishment for them.
It's an accomplishment that might have stemmed from the person they once were, but one they will carry with them and use for the rest of their lives.
I finally feel like I did something that was worth it.
I'm so proud. It's had a lot of obstacles. I couldn't be prouder.
Using the gift of education to create change and the strength that comes with it to start over. In Windham, Samantha York, News Center, Maine.
And this was the largest graduating class the facility has had since that program started 3 years ago. If you'd like to learn more about it, head to our website or mobile app.
All right, today's Braindrops is visual in nature, so let's roll that beautiful bean footage, as they used to say. This is a tornado in Oklahoma.
Wow.
And what's unique about it is, as far as I can remember, this is the closest I've seen a drone get to a tornado. So this is like southeast of Oklahoma City, and it's a pretty weak tornado. I can tell just by the formation of it, but really, really cool footage.
Yeah.
And it's something that I think there's a big future in this. You know, we were trying to convince management at the Weather Channel to buy a drone and just fly it into a tornado. So like, we were arguing, so I mean, you're gonna lose it, fine, but you lose whatever, $2,000 to get like inside the tornado footage.
Well,
Like-
if you can recover the drone, right?
Well, we would be streaming it back.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
no, you're not going to find it if you bring
Right.
it into a
It's
tornado.
gone.
But I think there's a big future in drones for weather events in general. You know, I would love to take one up in a snowstorm, for example. And
Right.
The trouble is you need a good drone. You need
Sure.
one that can stabilize itself and not go flying out.
Do you think drones could replace weather balloons?
Yeah, they could replace weather people.
Yeah.
No, you know, weather balloons go really, really high in the atmosphere. So really it'd just be more of a TV thing.
Sure.
Chasing storms with drones for safety and also just for the aesthetic of it.
Yeah,
So
this
I'm
is
all in on it.
mesmerizing watching this.
I need a better.
Although it's
We have a
scary.
drone here too. We need a better one, stronger drone.
We can
that in
always
the
do
budget.
better.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us for News Center Now. News Center Maine at 5:30 starts right now.